sunshine, more breezes, and many visitors this summer season. We thank you for protecting our first responders, our police, fire, and beach patrol during this busy time. As our teachers and students head back to school in a few weeks and navigate yet another school year, fill them with strength to lead and thrive in their classrooms. We ask that you help us to live in ways pleasing to you and helpful to those around us. In your name we pray. Standing, I have a moment of silence. This week, Richard Dick Wilson passed away, who was a long-time Brigantine resident. After graduating from Atlantic City High School in 1960, Dick entered the United States Marine Corps. He then attended Glassboro College and spent 34 years teaching shop in the Margate school system. Dick is survived by his wife, Aunt Jeanette, his daughter, Melinda, and her husband, Jason Cunningham. Their daughter, Pamela, and her husband, Rick Hoffman, and his grandsons, Zachary, and Alexander. He was predeceased by his son, Michael, and by his mother-in-law, Philomena Arena. Just keep the Wilson family in.
Exact announcement. Executive. We do not. So we have our approval of our August 6, 2025 council meeting minutes. We have a motion and second. Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. We have our approval of our bill requisition list. We have a motion second. Second. Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. At this time, we have public comment. This is on agenda items only. Anybody wishing to be heard, please come up and state your name and address for the record.
Hi, and thank you for having me. It's Brooks Garrison, 204 15th Street North. Here to talk about the ordinance number 22, public hearing appropriations. This is part of the $27 million bond referendum that the council has taken forward to invest in our community, which I wholeheartedly support and congratulate the council for doing. I'm here to ask for the council consideration.
I'm sorry to interrupt,
Sorry.
Mr. Garrison.
Yes.
There's actually going to be a public hearing on that tonight, and it's more appropriate to talk about that during that public hearing.
Very good. Thank you.
See you in a couple minutes.
I'll wait.
All right, this time we're going to close the public portion. First up, we have ordinance number 21 of 2025, which is a public hearing and adoption. And this is a bond ordinance providing for various improvements to the water and sewer utility in and by the city of Brigantine in the county of Atlantic, New Jersey, appropriating $10,125,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $10,125,000 bonds or notes in the city to finance the costs thereof. Motion second. Doug. All right, this time we'll open up for public hearing. Anybody wishing to be heard on this bond ordinance, please come up, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no public participation, we're going to close the public portion. Any council comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. All right, next up, we have ordinance number 22 of 2025, which is a public hearing and adoption. And this is a bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the city of Brigantine in the county of Atlantic, New Jersey, appropriating $17,300,875, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $16,435,831 bonds or notes of the city to finance part of the cost thereof. This project's also going to include the new clubhouse at the Brigantine Links. The clubhouse now will stay in operation until the new clubhouse is completed, and then that clubhouse will actually be demolished and returned back to open space. So we'll keep one open, build one next to it, and then turn it back to open space. All right, we have a motion and second. Second. At this time, we'll open it up for a public hearing. Anybody wishing to be heard on this bond ordinance, please come up, state your name and address for the record. Brooks, come on up. First one was just a dry run, a little practice run. There you go.
I appreciate it. Again, Brooks Garrison, 204 15th Street North. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Again, full wholeheartedly support the investment back into the community for the various projects that are included in this $27 million overall bond and 17 for other things inclusive of bulkheads and clubhouse. As you know, I've spoken here several times about the seawall extension on the north end, which directly obviously impacts the homes on 15th Street and those on 14th Street at St. Block. There's 20 homes there. And effectively the whole north end, inclusive of the bird observation center. It's been my feeling all along and goal to get that bulkhead extended and installed. It's 270 feet. There's a bulkhead obviously involved with seawall. Seawall by definition is not a promenade. I know there's been discussion about extending the promenade also. These aren't mutually exclusive projects. If you invest in the seawall and protect the homes, the debate and discussion about the promenade can continue. The seawall would be effective immediately, obviously protecting the homes. So I'm here to advocate for and request that the council invest some of that money. It's been bonded into it. As you know, those homes have been improved over the last 10 years. That whole area has changed a lot. New resident 5 years ago, grateful to be here and appreciate your consideration for that. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Lori Goldsmith. I'm at 1415 East Brigantine Avenue, and I feel that it's very important to get this taken care of with the seawall, just the bulkhead to protect our homes. Even leaving the house just now, the water is so close. I mean, it's a perfect timing for you guys to come take a look. And if you want, come over to my house and come sit on the porch and see what it looks like from there. So if we could have the protection, that's all we need, just the protection down, deal with the rest of it later. But I urge you to please put it through because it's scary there at this point. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tim Doherty at 1413 East Brigantine Avenue, next door to Lori. I support the project, getting it done. I'd rather you come to my house instead of hers because when Sandy came along, the water went around the hole in her house. So, you know, we desperately need it. It's funny, but it's not.
Dr. Michael Coast, 15th Street North. I support what Brooks is saying. Just you have to protect those houses from storm that is going to come sooner or later. And, it's important that it's pretty cheap compared to your total bond. The extension of the boulevard is a different conversation. It's going to be completely separate. In the meantime, these acts to protect the houses that are there currently. It's easy.
I will close the public portion. Any council comments? I see none. We have roll call.
Yes.
I did have one question on the radar screen, so to speak, Tiger. You know where the roundhouse, the baseball field stands?
Are you asking as far as this bond ordinance?
Yes, as far as the rounds.
There's no money for the roundhouse at 26th Street in this current bond ordinance.
Well, I know it's specifically not noted. It's maybe the other discussed it a few times.
A lot of work, I think. Baseball, softball fields. We're gonna continue to work. Now the roundhouse. is not as much.
It does look, there's a lot of money's been put in, it doesn't. It's just, it's me thinking. Still. Okay.
We do apply for recreation grants. Unfortunately, though, like the local recreation grants are capped at 100,000. And usually you get between 60 and 80 if you end up getting it. We did get it last year. This year, we did not receive any. So it's hit or miss on that, but it does top out at 100,000.
I bring it up, because John would obviously know, Public Works, and Mike, Neil, myself, Lois, been involved with the teams and coaching. It's long in the tooth, I'll just. All right, thank you. Yes, that's it.
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Mayor Sarah,
Yes.
motion carried.
Next up, we have ordinance number 23 of 2025, which is a public hearing and adoption. And this is an ordinance amending chapter 210-37, article 2 of the code of the city of Brigantine, portions as it relates to fees. We have a motion and second.
Second.
All right, this is, we had talked about earlier in the year doing a family rate for pickleball. So the fee changes for that family rate for pickleball. If this passes tonight, it will take place 20 days from now, starting in September. At this time, we'll open it up for public hearing. Anybody wishing to be heard on this fee change, please come up, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no public participation, we're going to close the public portion. Any council comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
Yes. Lettieri,
Yes.
Hany,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Mayor Sarah,
Yes.
motion carried.
Resolution 2025-193, and this is a resolution granting tax exemption for a permanently disabled veteran owned residential property. We have a motion and second.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
Yes. Lettieri,
Yes.
Hany,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Mayor Sarah,
Yes.
motion carried.
Resolution 2025-194. This is a resolution amending the City of Brigantine 2025 year municipal budget by the insertion of a special item of revenue and appropriation from the state of New Jersey, dry sober or get pulled over Labor Day grant. This is in the amount of $4,200. We have a motion second.
I'll make that motion.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
Yes. Lettieri,
Yes.
Hany,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Mayor Sarah,
Yes.
motion carried.
Next up, we have our consent agenda. This is for the Goodbye Summer Bonfire, Eagles Tailgate 1 and 2, Surf Fishing Derby, and Rosie Post Workshop. The motion second.
Second.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
Yes. Lettieri, yes.
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Mayor Sarah,
Yes.
motion carried.
Next up, we have our council manager committee discussion. Skyler?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to highlight the food truck festival that was scheduled for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on the 38th Street Beach. We had to move it, obviously with the tides and the storm going to be offshore. That area will be flooded like it has been in the past. So we are going to move it to right around Hahnemann Park at 15th Street here. There was a post on social media, if anybody had seen it, that incorrectly advertised where the trucks would be located, which was parked right outside this door here along 15th Street. That is not the case. 15th Street will remain open. It will be closed right at the end of City Hall parking lot. 15th Street will be closed. We're also going to close it at 15th Street and Bayshore. And then we're going to close it at 16th and Revere. So Revere will be closed between 15th and 16th. The trucks will be parked on the asphalt pointing toward the Hahnemann Park. There will be a band, some music chairs, chairs and tables in Hahnemann Park. So kind of focusing on Hahnemann Park. So again, 15th Street will remain open in front of the church here, in front of City Hall Park. Times are now 1 to 9 on Friday and Saturday, and 1 to 7 on Sunday. So please spread the word and come on out. And the weather looks like it's going to be gorgeous. The storm will be past, so it looks like it's going to be a beautiful weekend.
I first want to thank Public Works and the Rec Department for the great job they did on the mini golf. It's awesome. I was hearing a lot of great things. From a bunch of my friends, they've had their kids, their grandkids there, and they love it. They really appreciate the upgrades. I also like to congratulate the Brigantine Baseball and Softball Association on a successful wiffle ball home run derby they had on Saturday. It was amazing. I think Tom Rapici said there were about 25 kids registered. It was a great mix of locals and visitors. It was packed. And the highlight of the day was the Philip bananas there. Kids love to see that. So I just think it's wonderful. They're the island. That's it.
Today is our last council meeting for the summer season. Summer doesn't officially end until September 22nd. Wish everybody safety for the rest of the summer. It's been a great summer season. Third and fourth ward meeting was held by Mark Virgili and myself this past Thursday. Despite the weather, it was a great turnout. We filled the room. Nice crowd was giving a thorough review of the many goings on around our island, particularly in the third and fourth wards. Not totally isolated to that, but obviously mainly there's a lot of great questions and robust discussion. So, Mrs. Phillips, I know I was talking to you briefly, as you could attest to. It was a packed house, and there's a lot of it was vibrant. Our mayor was also there to answer some more specific questions and to also provide some further detail to some of our topics. Congratulations to Putt Putt Paradise, which had its soft opening on Friday morning, August 8th. It was actually a great turnout just for that. And basically there, it's a nice little commercial for families. Give a shout out to one of our homegrown local Brigantine athletes who started here in baseball and football, street hockey as well, Spirit High School. Cohen, T as he's known by, the son of Trevor and Laura Cohen. Trevor fire department being one of our captains, or I still got his rank right with the restructuring. Italian. The the MLB draft, the Major League Baseball draft was in mid-July, and Trevor was a third-round pick of the San Francisco Giants. He's 21 years old and played 3 years of Big Ten college baseball for Rutgers University. He's now playing for the San Jose Giants in single-A ball out the West Coast. He's been playing every game, and as of yesterday, he just crossed over the 300 mark with his batting average. He had like 3 for 4 or something like that. He didn't waste any time, got a hit and a walk in his first game, scored a run. He certainly has some great tools and traits. He's talented offensively and defensively, pushing the best. It's a great story. So he's following the steps of Brett Kennedy, another one of our Brigantiners who was drafted by the San Diego Padres out of Fordham University some years back. Brett's around 30s, I guess. And fortunately, Brett had a couple of injuries to deal with. But both of these, Trevor and Brett, gamers, great represented our city very well. To this day, we still do the same things. Leads me to the question: why are these players ending up on the West Coast? That's still one's San Francisco and the other San Diego. It'd be nice if the Phillies had one of them, or even the Mets or somebody. Well, maybe not the Mets, but Yankees. So that's that. Thank you very much.
You okay?
Mayor. First of all, I wanna thank everybody for coming out. It's always nice to see some good friends expressing their concerns and working together to try to do the best we can to resolve the issues that we're concerned about. Um, Economic Development Committee and the Cultural Arts Committee are moving forward, planning new things. That's that. Other than that, got a couple weekends left in the summer. Get some good fish, some more good fish play.
John, congrats to the great job. Center staff. Good job. It's perfect. A lot of good. For the boat ramp, I know Public Works closed today. Any anticipation on how long it's going to be closed? That's been a question. I kind of let people know. Follow Public Works. You guys are sure also share about you guys. I think the big thing too with hurricane here, it's out there. A lot of the storm and swell that we see right now actually isn't from hurricanes, from the front that's pushing through persistent northeast winds. Beach is probably up and down all of New Jersey have closed to swimming. The currents are very, very dangerous. Our lifeguards are still out on the beach, to make sure that people don't go in. You'd be surprised how many people look at the ocean. Oh, I can go in. I'll be okay. Or I'm just going to go in knee deep. A lot of times what happens is waves wash up and then stack, pull back down. See people get pulled out real quick, and you go from knee deep to over your head in seconds. So definitely stay out of the water. Make sure you guys pay attention to our lifeguards. If there's any questions, the lifeguards are out on the beach. Definitely ask them questions, but stay out of the water until it's safe, especially in those after hours. That's one of our biggest concerns. When lifeguards go at 5:30 to people decide to try to go in or swim, then you end up with the fire department out there trying to save you. Stay out of the water, please. For everyone who came in too about the extension of, I guess, putting the bulkhead out on to the north of the seawall, we are working with the DEP on that. We are working on that. We thought that they were going to act on that a little bit quicker. And I kind of explained this, I think Brooks had brought this up a meeting or two ago. Right now, so even if we want to do this bulkhead and Brigantine does it on its own, it's still under jurisdiction of CAPRA, so you still need to work with DEP to get this done. I'm not sure if the Army Corps needs to be involved in this, but I know that DEP has let us know that they have an interest in doing the project. We were hoping that they would start that this year. With the governor going out and the new governor coming in, we're in this lame duck period. Most state offices are in a holding pattern. They're not quite sure who's going to win that election. So they're just in a hold on all of their projects. And as I explained to Brooks, I think a meeting or two ago, we're just kind of stuck in limbo until the new governor comes in and makes some direction. The DEP will probably fund most of this project. And that's one of the things that we look to do is try to keep cost under control through either grants or through those partnerships with the state or with the federal government. So we are working on that. But I wish I had some better information. I know one of the questions that Brooks asked for a lot, is that going to be a promenade, a seawall, a bulkhead? I do not know what that's going to be because the DEP is going to make a determination on what it is they want out there, and that'll be the starting process. The only thing that they have let us know is that there is a vested interest in putting some type of structure out there, but they have not indicated what that structure will be. Obviously, we can let the people from the DEP know that residents who live in that area prefer to just have some kind of bulkheading and not a promenade and things like that. We can carry that forward, but it's just very early in that project. So we will do all we can to protect the homes out there. The promenade that's there now is actually owned by the county. It's actually not Brigantines. It's actually the county because it lines up to the county road. And that's where all the jurisdictions cross. You have the county, you have where CAFRA comes in, you have where Brigantine comes in. We don't know how the Army Corps plays in that, but we're trying to work our way through that process. So obviously, when we first started this process, we were under the assumption it was going to move forward this year. Unofficially, we've been told it's probably on hold until next year. So we will continue to advocate for that. We are working on bulkheads around the island. It's something that we've been very committed to do, to either bring our bulkheads up to the new height or to work with homeowners, especially when homes are sold. And there's new construction out there to get the homeowners to bring those bulkheads in. You can see down around North Point Marina, the old North Point Marina, they did a really good job of putting in bulkheads and Gabion walls. And also the owner of the development down the street from you put Gabion walls all around his property and did a return back in order to try to protect all that area. So that's something we are very committed to do. As soon as we have more information on this, we will put this out. Typically put it out in our newsletter, through social media, the Brigantine Times. We'll make sure that everyone knows what's going on. That everyone will have ample opportunity to, especially the homeowners living in that area, to kind of speak on behalf of what we want once we get that moving forward. So as soon as we have more information, we'll let everyone know. All right, this time we'll open it up for public comment. Anybody wishing to be heard, please state your name and address for the record. Yes, Dad, come on up.
Frank Jenny, I live at 605 West Shore Drive here in Brigantine. I have a concern about the beach, because I know last year, the year before, we had a hard time getting the Army Corps to come down here to fill it in. And after tomorrow and Friday, I got a feeling we're gonna have no beach at all. We run to the wall. Do you have any problems with that right now?
So the north end, right where the promenade is, typically gets hit really hard in nor'easters. We used to get maybe 1 or 2 nor'easters each fall. They're becoming more and more prominent. Like now, we had a nor'easter. It's been blowing for 5 days.
know.
Last week, it was blowing for 7 days, and that's where a lot of that erosion. And you can see the 88 ramps that the county just put in. Yesterday, it was a foot drop. Now it's about a 4 or 5 foot drop. So you can see that a lot of sand's coming out of there. One of the things that we're working on right now, because I think there's a freeze, I don't know if it's state or federal, but there's a freeze on all beach replenishment funding right now. But the reason for that is Congressman Banju has sponsored legislation. The Army Corps is going to do a study, and what they want to look at is there's some kind of structure or something that they can put in the water that'll help to retain the sand in its place. Most towns used to be on a 6 to 8 year replenishment cycle. Now most towns are on a 3-year replenishment cycle, which is now becoming very expensive for the federal government because I think they pay 75 to 80% of the replenishment. To put it in perspective, the replenishment last year was about 20 million. The Brigantine only paid 1.8 million towards that replenishment. So it is expensive. So I think that the federal government is doing a freeze. They want to study what can be done. What's really good for Brigantine, and this has a lot to do with our partnership and our relationship with Congressman Bandrew, is I believe Brigantine is the only municipality on the entire East Coast that has 2 locations in this study. One is actually at the promenade. They want to know if there's some kind of structure, whether it's a low profile jetty, groin, something they can put out there to slow the erosion down. And also at the Cove Beach. Those have been 2 big areas that we really had a lot of issues with erosion. So they're looking at that as well. And the problem with the federal government, and the congressman will tell you this, the federal government moves big, but it moves slow. So the process is they put the legislation in place, they then fund it, they then do the study, and then the study makes the recommendations on what it is they can do. And then from there, it'll be a partnership between the city, the state, and the Army Corps of Engineers in order to put that out there. And that'll actually be another layer of protection for the homeowners that are there, because I'm hoping there's something that can break the waves down before they don't know what that is yet.
So otherwise, may not have a beach this year, this winter.
With the erosion that's happening right now, there's a good chance you can see, I think it's
Yeah, I'd
only
like to
gonna
go
get
out there in the
worse.
winter time. That's why I'm complaining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but once you get to about 9th Street, the island turns, and that's where the beaches really start to get big. but that north facing part of the island really gets beat up. And as you can see, the erosion's really bad. You'll see with these two storms coming through, it's only going to get worse.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Yes, Mrs. Phillips. Sorry, Brooks, you got Mrs. Phillips.
Ann H. Phillips, 308 27th Street. Thank council. I want to thank council for, and particularly third and fourth representatives, and also the mayor who came for the public holding of the community meeting last week. And it was interesting to hear some of the concerns, and one of the chief concern is speeding. And just sitting there listening, perhaps I misinterpreted it, but it seemed to me that there was a different, shall we say, a difference of opinion between you, Mayor Sarah, and possibly the police chief concerning the use of giving tickets to cope with this problem of speeding. And my question is, what is the city's policy regarding speeding and giving of tickets? Because as I said, it was a concern that many people expressed, and so it's happening frequently on the island. And how do we handle it?
I think this has been one of the major concerns of the city and of city council with speeding on the island. As I've said at the meeting, we've had many conversations with the chief about speeding, about the need to pull people over. One, we cannot direct the chief how to do his job. He is protected by state statute. And two, it is actually the officer's discretion whether or not they write a ticket or not. We as council members cannot tell the police that they have to write tickets. Those officers have the discretion to handle the situation that they feel best. But I can tell you now, we have Captain Ward that's here tonight. One of the things I brought up was the speeding issues on Roosevelt. And Captain said they'll put a detail out there and they will try to get speeding under control. And they are working throughout the island. But, you know, I use the example of Longport. You go to Longport, everybody does 25 miles an hour in Longport because you know you're going to get pulled over, you know you're going to get a ticket. And I know that. So what we're working on here is what we can do to get speeding under control. Probably the best things that we did here on the island was the road diet. That road diet has slowed traffic down so much that I'm actually now getting complaints from people. Why do they have to drive so slow out there? So we are working on this process. Had a conversation with the captain tonight. We're going to continue to stay on top of this.
Well, it's a little bit confusing to the public, it seems to me. You have the law, you have the range of speed. So it isn't a question of whether there is a violation or not. If somebody is speeding, it's a violation. And isn't there a consequence for that violation?
But that is for the officers to decide in the moment. They have discretion on how they handle each situation. It's easy for us on the outside to say everything should be handled a certain way, but the police, and I support this 100%, police need to have the discretion to make the decision that they feel is best in each situation. So we can advocate, just like you're doing here, that speeding is an issue. We can advocate that our police officers need to be stricter on that. But I will also 100% support the fact that our officers need to have discretion to do their jobs. And I said this at the meeting, and this is why the law is in place. There needs to be a separation between what we do, politics of what we do, and the job that our officers do every day. And that is a balancing act. And it's why we had the conversations with the chief, and how the chief decides to bring that forward. That's under his discretion too.
But if the driver of the car is speeding, that's a fact. And the police know it. Are you telling me there's discretion as to whether somebody gets a ticket or not?
We cannot tell police officers how to do their job. So Mrs. Phillips, you talked about the law. The law is very clear. As elected officials, we cannot tell police officers how to do their job.
No, but
Cannot,
shouldn't the
and I don't think
police
we
do
should.
the job, which is get a ticket. If you're speeding, you're endangering people. That's what I understand what you're saying. I know that you as counsel cannot go into the office and tell any employee what to do
Right.
under the form of government. However, if it is a fact that a person is speeding, I think a ticket is warranted. It doesn't seem to be, it should be under the discretion of the police officer. That is, I mean, that doesn't seem to fit the law and the way it's being enforced because that many people came to express their concerns. It is a problem.
Right, and we did carry that forward. As I said, I spoke with Captain Ford today. And he said that they'll put a detail on it, especially in and he asked what areas were there issues. We carried that forward, and that's kind of our job as council. People come to us, they tell us what the concerns are, we bring them forward. Captain Ford is acting chief right now, so we brought that forward to him.
Yes, the final word is if there's speeding taking place, there's a violation of the law. It's the duty of the officer on duty to not use his discretion, but say, you are in violation, here's a ticket. I mean, that seems to be the best way to cope with a situation where people just think they can speed up and down our roads. So I'm passing this on to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Brooks. All right, Brooks, welcome back.
Thank you again, Brooks Garrison, 204 15th Street North. So first, I wanted to thank Councilman Lettieri and yourself, Mayor, for having the second council meeting that you had a few weeks ago at the golf course. Thank you for that and seeking that community input. I just wanted to talk again about the seawall issue and separating out the different entities that have jurisdiction. So the city has jurisdiction, as I understand, because I buy a beach permit, up until the bird observation tower. And the city maintains and operates the bird observation tower, correct? It's not a,
I'm going to ask, I think anytime we do construction within approximately the waterway, it's CAFRA approval. Yeah.
yeah, CAFRA, but it's not Army
CAFRA's
Corps of
part- So
we're not waiting
CAFRA is
for-
part of the DEP. The DEP has let us know they have a vested interest in this project. So what I've learned, it's best to work together with these state agencies, because when you try to go rogue and do something on your own, they become retaliatory. And that is very similar to what happened in Wildwood. Wildwood got in a
know
situation,
all about the Wildwoods.
and that became a mess. So what
Yes.
we've learned is to work together with our partners, and sometimes it slows projects down a little bit, but it helps them to be more successful in the end. And that's what we're trying to do.
But not to reiterate history, this council adopted a Brigantine flood management document back in 2016. In that document, the north end seawall was first priority amongst other projects, but it was the first priority amongst other projects. It's been around for almost a decade. The discussion of the north end seawall happened since Sandy, which was a quarter century ago. The north end seawall.
What year was Sandy?
2011, 2012. Okay, so little liberty with the time frame, 13 years ago. I guess the point is that this project is a fairly low cost project. Bulkheads are about $1,000 a foot. It's 275 feet. It's under 300 grand. It's a drop in the bucket considering that you're doing other bulkhead projects, and you could essentially package or bundle projects together, as we do public bids all the time, to have the seawall installed while other bulkhead projects are being enacted. I just think if we continue to wait, we could wait until, there's a new governor and then a new DEP, and that's a very political position, as we all know. It could take years to implement. These homes are in jeopardy now. We've cleaned out and you've replaced the handicap access ramp at the end of 14th Street North several times. Again, Lori and Clay are here. Their neighbors are here. Both my neighbors are here. There's 5 residents here that live out of 20 homes who express a grave concern for that. And I'd appreciate it if the council would consider spending that money, to invest in safety for our homes. Thank you.
There's no other public comment, or close the public comments. Any final council comments?
I'll say something. this discussion about the DEP. I was involved with the situation, the mayor mentioned a couple locations on the island where the bulkheads went in and all. And, just to get DEP approvals to lower the amount of boat slips in the one area, it took the guts of a year. It was filed last September. We just got the approvals last week. I mean, that's just to change, reduce the number of boat slips. We weren't asking for more. So DEP is tough. But all that being said, if the right person gets in November here in New Jersey, I believe, and I'm very confident that we'll have a better opportunity to take care of the concerns of our beaches and everywhere else. So that's a good thing. There's also dredging issues back there that asked before they denied us. That's that. And then just to let you know, Dennis mentioned Brett Kennedy earlier. He's happily pitching coach in the Toronto Blue Jay organization at rookie ball. And so it's always good to hear good news about our folks. Thanks.
I just have a minute, just to address what Mrs. Phillips was saying about the police not giving tickets. I know, I have seen police officers stopping cars, giving tickets for what I assume were speeding just because of the location of where the stop was taking place. I've seen parking tickets all over the island for people who are parking illegally. They are working with us about the bike riding and the e-bike issue. They still respond if there are party houses with our short-term rentals. I've seen them posting out by the circle, catching violators out there on the circle. I was there one day and I went, oh my God, here comes somebody around. And with that, a police car whipped around and chased the guy down Bayshore Avenue. So it's not that they're not giving out speeding violations, but they're doing a lot of other things besides that. And I believe it's, I'm sure, priority.
There's no other council comments. Second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Thank you for coming out and watching your council team work.